Resident Evil 8 handgun only. Is it possible? Well, let's go over the rules. So the rules are simple. Handgun only, of course, and you also allows you to shop to buy health items or even health upgrades. And also you gotta play on the hardest difficulty, max difficulty possible. But Resident Evil 8 has a 4 difficulty you can play from. Village of Shadow is the hardest one you could possibly play from, which is by far, in my opinion, the weirdest but also hardest out of all the Resident Evil game you can play in on the max hardest difficulty. It is very interesting, and I want to know if you could beat this game handgun only. So let's give it a shot. So starting off, we do jump right into the action, running around with our hands in the air, and we did eventually beat this, but we did die a few times. I'm be honest. This was a lot more difficult than it seemed, especially with a handgun, but we made it through, went past this part, and then moving on to the castle. And the castle was very interesting. It wasn't that hard, but we went up against the first of our daughters. I guess the sister wanted a threesome because she decided to call her goons before backup. I don't know. And this made it very difficult, especially with 3 people in my fucking face. So I ended up dying so many times. And we ended up restarting the first time because we got fucking shit on by her big ass sickle. But anyways, we restarted and then we went back. She wanted some more. I started blocking my shit because she wanted all this guac guac, but I told her she couldn't get it. All right. And then her goon would show up, right? And then she tried to grab my guac guac. I told her no. And then we ended up dying, get a corner, right? Without my consent. And then we ended up dying still. And we ended up dying more, getting the grab still. Restarting more. Dying still. And guess what? And you guessed right. We died even more. So we realized Village of Shadow is impossible. So we went to hardcore and we continued the challenge. So hardcore, she does not have her goons for backup, so we ended up killing her instantly because she's fucking dog shit. And then we found Duke, then moving our way to Mommy D, WD, Milkers herself. Then moving on to the second fight of the daughters. So this one's a lot easier. If you keep pulling her leather, she'll keep running away, following her, pulling away. The good thing, if you get hit, there's a thing where you can heal up after a certain amount of time. So every time you pull leather, she'll run away, and then you heal up instantly, take another hit. You can use the objects to bait a hit. And we ended up beating her first try because she is lovely. But moving on to a third fight of sisters. I don't know their names, but this one is a lot more aggressive. She will hunt you down at all times, so you gotta run away. Again, you can use objects to bait hits. So when you first start the fight, all you gotta do is throw a pipe bomb in the wall and start it. But besides that, she is very, very aggressive, and I can't tell you how bad she hurts when she put that sickle in my bum. That shit hurts. But after beating her, moving on to the mom, the Double D Milkers, hot girl. And this boss has 3 moves she does. First thing when you first start is she will break down the arena, and then she will like lunge at you, and then the last move she will fly in the air and then land on you. She also has the other one where she summons bugs, but that one doesn't really come as much. So going on to the second phase, all you gotta do is hug the right side and bait to the left. So once she is about to lunge, just go to the left side, and then when she turns red, just go back to right, and then keep doing this, and then you beat her. Now we're moving on to the unemployed uncle. This one is a lot tanky. I don't know like what he has inside him, but he is very tanky, does not take any damage. So what you gotta do is use the environment, use the bomb, big booms. Keep shooting him. You do eventually run out of ammo because it's not enough ammo for this guy, especially for a handgun. So you shoot all the bombs, keep shooting him in the head, do much damage as possible. And after that, we will have to use our knife. So there is a spot we can get him stuck and get him in the move cycle. So after sitting here knifing him for 30 minutes, and you heard it right. You heard it right. 30 minutes, all right? We did die one time. That's why our games look like this. I kind of changed or added some mods to increase my FOV. So moving on to the ugly ass ogre. This one is pretty straightforward, but not really, because he is a very unpredictable boss. You cannot put him in a loop of any kind of move. So you got to like be very careful. He also summons these goons, his little bodyguards. I don't know why. What's the point of it? Because he just end up killing his goon for some reason. So this boss ended up being pretty easy since that happened. So I ended up beating him first try. So after that, moving on to Mr. Heisenberg. So basically what happened with Heisenberg, he tried to tell me and try to join me into a foot contest. He tried to get me to sell as much feet picks as possible, get as much money. I told him that's ridiculous. I could easily do that better than him. He said no. He got mad at me, right? So what I did, I sold more feet picks than him, and he got mad. He pushed me down the hole with a big ass turbine, and now we're here stuck in the factory getting out. But all jokes aside, next boss fight is probably one of the easiest boss fight in all RE games. All he does is run at you like a dumbass. I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't think he has a brain under that big ass wind turbine. Now not producing enough energy to get in his brain. But this boss is pretty easy. Got fire, boom, that's it. And then I'm beating him. Boom, bam. Easiest shit in my life. Fucking hands shaking off of dust, shoulders shaking off of dust. Easy as hell. Then we ended up moving on to Heisenberg. Heisenberg first phase is kind of simple. Honestly, this whole boss is simple. You know, you got a cannon, got a big ass cannon. And then we ended up beating him with a pistol. Now moving on to Chris with this big ass, ugly ass ogre. Even bigger and uglier. This one is also unpredictable. You cannot do shit about it. It also has a lot of health, though using only handgun is very impossible. So we end up go finding Mia. Then moving on to a final buzz with Miranda. She has 4 phases where she goes to a spider, a bird, I don't know which bird, I don't know fucking where she is. And then she has like a dark face where she's like trying to jump scare you. But she's still ugly jump scared, honestly. She has another phase in the beginning where she's like normal or something like that. So we ended up beating her first try, which is kind of surprising. So overall, handgun only, hardcore / Village Shadow. Can you beat Village Shadow handgun only? Hell no. Knife only? Even hell no. Because this shit was impossible in the first. I couldn't get past the first boss fight. I barely got past the first fight in the game, but we did it.